talk some NFL season awards. We're going to do a futures market pick 'em.
Yeah, so futures market pick 'em, but I wanted to do it a little bit different with you guys. I didn't want you just because you guys have already told us who you thought was going to win each award. This time I wanted to throw you out 3 names and see which one out of the 3 you would rather bet. Let's start with NFL MVP. Would you bet Burrow at plus 600, Jaden Daniels at plus 850, or Justin Herbert at plus 2,000? Which one would you rather bet, Ryan?
All right, I'm glad that you come to me first here. Me and PJ were actually having this discussion before the show. In fact, PJ went through every single starting quarterback for all 32 teams and told me who he likes and dislikes. And it all started because I said, PJ, I don't want to buy in, but I kind of want to buy in. Everybody thinks the Broncos are the biggest threat to the Chiefs. And they could be, man. That's a really good defense. Love Surtain. Love their offense. I'm just not sold that Bo Nix is that guy. I know how good of a coach and play caller Sean Payton is. And I think they kind of covered that up last year. But go back and watch that playoff game. Like, is Bo Nix good enough to win games in the league? I think so, yes. But is he good enough, like, in the fourth quarter? I don't know, man. Everything's behind the line of scrimmage. I'm not saying he can't make the throws, but I don't know that Denver's that team that's going to challenge Kansas City. If anybody, I think it's going to be the Chargers. They made the playoffs last year. Year 1 for Harbaugh. Look what he did in San Francisco, right? Year 1, you build the culture, you make the playoffs, and then he had him in a Super Bowl. I really like Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is not just an internet quarterback. I'm a big fan. He's been throwing the ball to garbage men. His best wide receiver is McConkey, who now it's year 2. Hopefully he added some muscle. He's a really good route runner, but it's like Quentin Johnston who can't catch the football. The only thing that does concern me, Peach brought it up, Greg Roman calling plays, man. That's my concern. But I would go with Herbert at 20-1, to be honest. Let's say they do dethrone the Chiefs. I think he would get some looks.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's the most overrated quarterback in football.
Wow.
He's insanely talented. There's no denying the talent. Like, anybody who's like, that dude isn't talented, you're just lying to yourself. I mean, his bazooka of an arm, he's got athletic ability. There are, I don't know how many quarterbacks I would trust if I had to win one game, but he would be towards the bottom of the list. I have no faith in Justin Herbert to close out a big game, to close out a close game. But the problem is, I love Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh might be the best coach in the NFL. He really might be. Jesse Minter is a rising star as a defensive coordinator, but there is no way I will ever bet Justin Herbert to win MVP. Ever. Especially as long as Greg Roman is his offensive coordinator and he's got absolutely nothing at wide receiver. So Herbert, you can totally eliminate. It's Burrow for me. Jaden Daniels is terrific. He's going to win an MVP at some point in his career. I don't think this is going to be the year, though. Washington has 6 primetime games. They have 7 games that are standalone. The 6 in primetime, and then 1 where they have to play the Dolphins out in Spain. I think that's going to be a big adjustment for their team, having to play all those standalone games and getting everybody's best punch every single week. And because of that, I don't think the team is going to perform all that well, which is going to lead to Jaden not performing as well as maybe we all think. It's Burrow because, look, I mean, that offense is just silly with those receivers, Chase and Higgins, Chase Brown at running back. The offensive line's pretty good. Burrow's terrific. And because of how bad their defense is, I mean, he's going to have to put up points. He's going to have to put up numbers. So it's Burrow pretty easily for me. I mean, Justin Herbert, Ryan likes him. Brandon, it sounds like you kind of are a fan too. I think the guy is ridiculously talented. Would I ever want him to be my quarterback? No chance in hell. I think he is overrated.
So you don't want a quarterback that in 5 years in the league has thrown for 21,000 yards and 137 touchdowns and has thrown for 10 total interceptions in the last 2 seasons, including only 3 last year, and had a passer rating of 101.7.
3 last year, and then he had 5 in the playoff
I was gonna
game
say,
against
yeah,
Houston. Which brings up my entire point. And at Oregon, he could never win the big game. The only reason they won the Rose Bowl against Wisconsin was because Wisconsin fumbled the ball 4 times, and they could still only pull it out by 3 points. Justin Herbert is allergic to winning the big game. The guy will never do it. I will never, ever trust him to win anything of significance. So all these people can keep throwing out the Chargers. They can bet him to win the division. They can bet him as a dark horse to win the AFC. You can bet him to win the MVP. I will never do any of those things.
Fair. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, for me, it's Burrow, too. Burrow's probably the most accurate passer I've seen since Dan Marino. He is deadly accurate, and if they can keep him upright...
You never saw Aaron Rodgers?
he's going to put up numbers. I have seen Aaron Rodgers.
Drew
Yeah, I'd say
Brees is pretty accurate.
a Bears fan not saying that anybody other than Aaron Rodgers is the most accurate passer.
I mean, Burrow.
I effing own you. My entire life, I effing owned you.
Burrow's pretty accurate, to be fair.
Yeah, Burrow's awesome. I'd take
Burrow
Rodgers
is
over Burrow.
deadly accurate.
If Rodgers had T. Higgins,
for me,
Jamar
it's Burrow.
Chase, and all those weapons, Rodgers would have 8 Super Bowls, though, too.
Yeah, no, I'd stay off of
Jordy
Jaden Daniels. I agree with you guys. I think the Commanders take a step back. I actually like the Dallas Cowboys number at plus. It was plus 700 or plus. I'm sorry, plus 300 to finish second in the NFC East. So I took that bet.
I like that.
Offensive player of the year, Derrick Henry at plus 1400. Calm down, PJ. CD Lamb at plus 2000, or Josh Allen at plus 3500. Offensive player of the year. A lot of times with a quarterback, which is why I threw Josh Allen in here, if they don't win MVP, they lean on this award. So which way are we going? PJ?
It's a good one. It's between Derrick Henry or CeeDee Lamb for me. Probably one of those two. I expect Derrick to have another awesome year, and you guys are going to laugh, but he did a interview with Dan Patrick earlier this offseason.
I listened to it.
Where he was talking about
every day to Dan
his favorite actor is Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler told him that if he rushed for more than 2,000 yards this season, that Derrick would be in his next movie.
Yep.
And Derrick was at the red carpet premiere of Happy Gilmore 2 yesterday. So, like, Derrick and Adam have a great relationship. Derrick's a huge fan. And I think this incentive is like a real thing. Ravens are obviously going to be a great team this year. They're going to put up a lot of points. Derrick just never ages at all. He's still a machine. So he's probably the bet. I really like the Cowboys, as we know. I mean, we talked about them a lot this week. I think Dak's going to have a great year. I think Lamb's going to have a good year, and I like that price a lot at 20-1. So just because Lamb is a little bit higher, I would probably lean towards him. But I think Derrick's going to have another great. I don't think you can go wrong with either one, but if you had to make me choose, I'll go Lamb because he's higher. 20-1.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb for me too, dude. Even with the addition of George Pickens, he's still going to have 10 to 15 targets every single game. He's still going to finish with over 150 targets. He's still going to finish with over 100 grabs as long as he stays healthy. And Dak's healthy this year, right? So he's not catching the ball from Cooper Rush, which I think is going to help. And even produced with Cooper Rush. So it'd be CeeDee Lamb for me. I don't think a quarterback's going to win this award. And Derrick Henry, I agree, Peach. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon, but I don't want to bet him at 14-1, man. So it would be CeeDee Lamb for me, 20-1. Although I did bet this award market, and I went with Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. Those are my two favorite bets in that market. But I'd go CeeDee Lamb for this conversation. What about you, Brando?
Yeah, I'm going Derrick Henry. Just because the dude's a beast. He's a genetic freak. I watch this guy's off-season workouts every damn year. I watch the video just to make me feel bad about myself and all the things that I don't do. So I love Derrick Henry a lot. For me, this is Derrick Henry all day because I just don't trust the Cowboys, one, to stay healthy, and I don't trust Dak late in games either. So Derrick Henry all day. Defensive player of the year, Micah Parsons, plus 750, wants to get paid. TJ Watt, plus 850, just got paid. Max Crosby, plus 1,100. Where are we going, Ryan?
Damn, I think like all these are decent bets, right? When TJ Watt's on the field, he's still one of the best edge rushers in the league. And he does so much more, too. Like, he'll have a pick six. He'll have tackles for loss. Dude's just an absolute stud. That's why whenever he gets hurt or he's injured or whatever, the defense completely falls off a cliff. Max Crosby, I like a lot. He's a demon. He doesn't take plays off. He plays every single down as a pass rusher. High motor guy. And I think Vegas is going to be better with the addition of Ashton Genty, Pete Carroll, and Geno Smith. But for me, it'd be Micah Parsons. I think the Cowboys are back this year. By back, I mean I think they win 9-10 games, go over their win total. I don't know that they win that division. We're watching the Eagles right now. They might be even better this year. But he wants to get paid. He's highly motivated. And he's awesome at football. So I'd probably take the short price at plus 750 with Parsons.
I would agree. I would also go with Micah Parsons. Brandon, you said it. I mean, it's the key, man. It's a player of that caliber who is looking for a new contract extension and who had a good year last year, but not a great year. And if Dallas's offense puts up points and they're good this season and they can get the lead and Micah Parsons can just tee off and rush the passer, that's obviously what Dallas wants, and that's how Parsons is going to have a great year, potentially win Defensive Player of the Year and get him a whole lot of cash. So I think because of how high I am on Dallas's offense, you have to be high on Micah Parsons, because if Dallas is going to score points and play with the lead, then you're going to have one of the best pass rushers in football teeing off on the quarterback. I think Parsons is the play.
Yeah, look, once a player gets paid, and TJ Watt, and I know he's TJ Watt, and I know he's one of the best defensive ends in all of baseball, in all of football.
Could be.
I have a tough time ever betting a guy who gets a contract the way that he just got the contract. And when it comes to Max Crosby, I'm just not a buyer in what the Vegas Raiders are doing this year. I don't think that they're going to be able to do enough to be relevant. I think Max Crosby at the end of the year isn't going to be as motivated as maybe a Micah Parsons, who is playing for that contract. And when he saw TJ Watt's dollar signs go up, his dollar signs went up. So he's going to be out there. He's going to be doing everything he can to put Dallas in the driver's seat and put himself in the driver's seat in the offseason. So I would bet Micah Parsons here as well. Offensive Rookie of the Year. This one's an interesting one. Cam Ward plus 350, Omarion Hampton plus 900, Tet McMillan plus 1,600. Where are we going, PJ?
I'm kind of borderline obsessed with this market, Ryan. I'm not going to lie to you.
Me too.
I am in love with Omarion Hampton
Me
this season.
too. Yes, I was in love with him the last 2 years.
For all the slander I just gave Justin Herbert, is as much as I have a crush on Omarion Hampton and the kind of year that I think he's going to have. Because this is the problem with why you don't like Herbert, is because of Greg Roman. But it's the reason why you should love Omarion Hampton. He is the perfect Harbaugh Roman running back. They took this guy at 21. They could have gone a lot of different options, but they knew what they had behind that O-line with Slater and Alt and the lack of receiving weapons. I mean, it's going to be a big dose of Omarion Hampton. J.K. Dobbins last year on a one-year prove-it deal had an awesome year before he got hurt, and that's the role that Hampton's going to play, and he's going to play it even better. Genty was the best running back in this draft class, no question. But I think the gap between Hampton and Genty was closer than the gap between Hampton and the third best running back. That's how good Omarion Hampton is. Kid's an absolute stud, and I love him in this award market because, again, Cam Ward's the only quarterback you really have to worry about. I'm not worried about Tyler Shuck.
No.
I'm not worried about Jackson Dart.
No.
Cam Ward's the only quarterback I'm worried about. So the fact that I just got to be one QB, give me Omarion Hampton. I absolutely love it. Took it at 14-1, still love it at 9-1, 10-1.
Bet it the same price, and I got the same bet, and I completely agree, dude. Obviously, an awesome running back. Go back and watch him at Carolina, and that was behind a bad offensive line. Something I think is interesting, he's among 10 FBS running backs over the last 8 years in terms of his average max speed, and I was looking at what that means and the other guys, when he does get to that next burst. Breece Hall and Keaton Mitchell are the only current running backs faster in the NFL. And he's a bowling ball. He could run you over, he could burn you with his speed, and he's a really good pass rusher as well, man. He had a 92.0 rushing grade on zone run concepts, and he's a really good route runner as well. So he can catch balls. He's going to take, handoffs to the house. The only area where he really struggles is pass protection. But you got Najee Harris, so he could be the short yardage guy, the goal line guy, and you could use him on third downs. I think Hampton's going to be a stud, so that would be my bet as well.
Yeah, I'm not a big believer in Cam Ward and what they're doing over there. I don't think that they're going to do enough to where he's going to be able to win this award. I love Omarion Hampton the same way you guys do. I also have a ticket out on him. I'd like to make the case, though, for Tet McMillan, because I think that the Carolina Panthers are going to be a sleeper in the NFC South, and I love the addition of Tet McMillan. I think he's going to end up being one of the top targets for Bryce Young. I think that this could be a wide receiver that in his rookie year puts up 1,200 yards receiving and ends up hitting the end zone 8 or 10 times. And I think that he could make a play. He could be the biggest threat to Omarion Hampton in Offensive Rookie of the Year. But that's just me.